Willie and Jimbo were at Chef Tom's. "I'm afraid I can't cook for you today." Jimbo didn't like the news and immediately asked what he had to do to get Tom started. "Well, I need some mushrooms for this sauce I have to send to town." So Jimbo and Willie went into the woods to find mushrooms. In the woods, they found a big blue ball.
"What's that, Jimbo?"
Willie asked. Jimbo himself didn't know, but he was curious, so he went stealthily to the thing. Halfway there, he stopped and looked around. It wasn't a trap, he hoped. Willie watched him from behind a tree. He was already scared and he certainly didn't want to play rough. Jimbo took the ball in his hand. "It's nothing," he called out. So Willie walked over to Jimbo. They both examined the thing. "We'll have to show this to everyone," Jimbo said. They had completely forgotten the task Tom had given them because of this thing. The boys immediately went to town.
"This is something from outer space. I think I'll take it so I can investigate it more," Timmy declared. Willie was very unhappy with this suggestion. He explained that Jimbo and he had found it, and if there was anyone who would keep it, it was the two of them. "What's the fuss about this thing, fellas?"
Lloyd stated. All four of them wanted to keep the ball for themselves, but no one knew how to use it. As Jimbo and Lloyd and Willie conferred, Timmy decided to step in and kick the ball. It rolled away towards the river by the woods. "Are you normal, Timmy?" Lloyd laughed. Jimbo ran after the ball. He mustn't get in the water, he thought to himself. Otherwise, he won't actually find out what the thing is. The sphere was getting closer to the water. Jimbo gave up. He could see the ball sinking into the water. Suddenly, a figure appeared and immediately took the ball in his hand. Jimbo looked at it. "Who are you?" Jimbo asked. "I'm SMURFCAT. I've been looking for this crystal all over the world. It belongs to my village," he stated. Lloyd, Timmy and Willie were stealthily approaching.
"Go check it out, Timmy," Lloyd whispered.
Willie just watched. "Hey there, Timmy," he called from a distance. SMURFCAT introduced himself to him as well.
"This thing is ours. It was on our town property,"
Timmy started to argue. Jimbo was mad at Timmy. "Let's have a contest for this crystal." Jimbo wanted to continue, but SMURFCAT jumped in. "I came to this town looking for food. If you get enough of it, I'll let you keep the crystal." Jimbo now remembered that he was supposed to go looking for ingredients for Tom. "That would do. We have a job for our cook," he said. SMURFCAT agreed, and they now went into the woods to look for mushrooms. They were all now standing in the woods looking for mushrooms. Willie and Jimbo walked to the end of the forest towards the swamp.
"This seems dangerous, even in the daytime," Willie said. Jimbo assured him that everything was all right. Suddenly, there was a great crash. Willie got scared and started running away from the swamp back to the boys. He saw SMURFCAT knock Timmy and Lloyd down and run away with the mushrooms. "Ow, what a setup!"
Lloyd complained. Timmy immediately ran after him.
"Stop, I'm ordering you two,"
he called to him from a distance, but he was already gone.
"Well, that's great, guys. He's gone with our food and his bull,"
Lloyd stated. "Ha ha ha," laughed Willie. He thought the whole thing was one big funny situation. Timmy looked at him evilly. He explained that this was definitely not funny. The boys decided to follow the thief. When Jimbo came out of the woods, there was no one around. Was there really a monster here? He wondered. Chef Tom watched the SMURFCAT in the distance. What is that? He quickly ducked behind his chef's counter, and with just his eyes, he watched. At that moment, Lloyd joined him and went to hide with Tom. Tom was scared out of his wits and fell to the floor. Ow! Lloyd laughed softly, trying to keep it in. What the? Tom started, but Lloyd jumped in.
It's SMURFCAT.
Tom preferred not to ask any questions. Willie and Timmy were on the other side of town.
You want to go catch him with us?
Lloyd asked. He told him to follow him. They were going to do a classic encirclement. Willie started shining his flashlight at Lloyd to signal him. Timmy knocked it off his hand.
I don't think it's going to work now,
he said in a huff. Timmy ran towards the SMURFCAT.
Lloyd, come the other way,
he yelled. Lloyd then decided to go too. Tom just watched the whole thing. SMURFCAT was looking both ways and started running too. Lloyd appeared in front of him.
Now you're not going to run away from me,
he said boldly to himself. He waited to see where SMURFCAT would decide to go. Everyone was watching them at that moment. SMURFCAT cursed lightly and Lloyd jumped in at him. But he missed and SMURFCAT ran away from them again. Timmy called out to Willie.
Come on, let's do something.
Willie still had Timmy's flashlight and ran with it towards SMURFCAT. He made his way to the train station. That's where I got my supplies, it occurred to Chef Tom. Wait a minute, Lloyd, I'll come with you. Lloyd welcomed him to his side and they walked. Timmy was upset, telling Lloyd he could have tried harder.
If I'd have been there, our worries would be over by now, Timmy boasted. The three of them hid behind the station building. Only their heads were showing. Ouch, you're stepping on me, Willie, Lloyd complained. Be quiet. You really can't do anything right now with you two.
Timmy had a plan in place. As always, he's the one in control of the situation. He sent Willie from the left and Lloyd from the right. He went into the woods and waited until he could stop the escape.
It's a good thing Jimbo isn't here. He'd just spoil it all, he said to himself. Stop!
It came from the station, but Timmy couldn't see anything.
Ow!
Timmy walked up to the station. He saw Lloyd lying in a bale of hay. Willie's not even here, and Tom the cook, for whom Timmy had no homework either. He was just looking at his boxes of food that were delivered today. They're empty, Tom raged.
Really great plan, Timmy,
Lloyd laughed, still in the bale of hay.
I'd like to see you.
They heard a big thump. It came from the other side of the building. Timmy walked cautiously and quietly towards the bang. There was a fallen box. That's my next meal! Again the cook cursed.
Not so loud,
Timmy shouted back. Suddenly, SMURFCAT ran out from behind the building. The cook ran after him. I won't let you steal my food! Lloyd stood up.
Haha, that was a really good plan.
He laughed at Timmy.
Stop it,
said Timmy in a mood. Meanwhile, Chef Tom chased SMURFCAT around the station. Jimbo was on his way back to town. He heard some noise from the station. What could it possibly be? He found a crystal on the way to the station. Well, that's a thing. He took it to himself. That's what Timmy will be looking at when he finds out that Jimbo got what the others have been trying to get for the last time. Jimbo headed for the station with a smile. So, Timmy, how's it going? He asked as he approached.
Nothing, just got us all because no one listens to what I say.
Timmy scolded the others. Willie was glad to see his friend again. Jimbo showed them what he had found along the way. That's how easy it is, Timmy, Jimbo boasted.
Haha, you're a genius, Jimbo.
Lloyd laughed. Willie was shocked. Tom was still looking for the SMURFCAT. When he got back to the boys, he explained that he couldn't be in town any longer without food, so they had to go looking.
We have to go look for clues,
Timmy beamed. He gave everyone their assignments. Willie searched the station. He walked the whole place and didn't miss a beat. Lloyd, meanwhile, was watching where the boys had originally come from. This was a stupid job. Suddenly, he found a stick on the ground. He didn't touch it. He just stared at it for a long time. Jimbo went looking for Willie, but then he saw how intent and focused Willie was on his work. He crept up behind him and shouted, Hey, Willie! Willie was so scared that he fell to the ground. And you got it, Willie, Jimbo laughed.
That wasn't very funny,
said Willie.
Hey, what are you two doing here again?
Timmy cursed at the boys. Timmy explained to them that he had probably already found a clue. He called everyone over.
He probably headed for the swamp forest.
He saw the boxes strewn about. All the clues led in that direction. Lloyd started going.
I found a clue too.
Timmy looked at the stick and threw it towards the tracks.
This is useless.
So they walked towards the woods where the supposed tracks led. Jimbo went first and sped off. In the distance, they could already see the SMURFCAT. He just stood there and watched.
Hey, we've got you now. Now give us back our food,
Jimbo called out. SMURFCAT seemed sad. He explained that he was looking for food and the crystal for his village.
Now what do you want the crystal for?
Timmy asked. SMURFCAT explained that it was the thing that could stop the war in their country. All the boys looked at him in shock. They hadn't had this in town before.
Okay, we'll help you get food.
As you can see, we have a cook, Jimbo said. They wanted to help him properly, so they went to Mr. Jones's farm to get eggs. When they were at the farm, Jimbo realized that he was missing the crystal. He preferred not to say anything and look around.
Where's the pilgrim?
The boys searched for him, but he was nowhere to be found. Suddenly, they saw SMURFCAT smashing the crystal. What are you doing, and how could you take it out of my pocket? Said Jimbo. SMURFCAT explained that the crystal was not there by accident, and he had to place it in a spot in the swamp. The boys explained that the swamp forest works mainly at night, so the boys went with SMURFCAT to the swamp forest at night. There was Timmy, Lloyd, Willie and Jimbo, and of course SMURFCAT. Timmy was as angry as ever.
Where are your flashlights?
Jimbo laughed at him. You're always so ready, buddy. So they went to help SMURFCAT bring the crystal to the swamp. They had to get a move on. They say this forest is haunted. They always said so. Just then, there was a crash. Something rushed past the boys. Willie got scared and jumped behind a tree. A letter appeared in front of them. Jimbo picked it up. This is going to be a load of rubbish again, he thought to himself. The crystal you are holding in your hand must not be in this forest anymore, he read the note.
We must do this quickly. It won't be stealthy anymore though,
Lloyd uttered mockingly. Timmy turned on the light.
We won't worry about anything here.
He decided to go and lead the group. They were already at the big swamp. Something swept past again and knocked Lloyd to the ground.
Ow, that wasn't funny,
Lloyd uttered in dismay. Jimbo took the ball and threw it into the swamp. I don't want anything more to do with this, he said. Willie looked at him in shock.
You definitely shouldn't have done that.
SMURFCAT was glad. There was another crash and the air turned cold.
It's cold in here, huh, fellas?
Said Lloyd. They were already slowly leaving the forest. By the time they got outside, they didn't see the SMURFCAT again. He took our food, Jimbo said in disappointment.